So recently my business partner and I decided to open up our podcast recording studio, and I had to search for the best camera that doesn't break the bank but yet records at a great level of quality. So I decided to go with the FX30, and I'm going to be discussing whether it's still a good option or is it even worth it in 2024. Hello everyone, and welcome back to yet another video where today I'll be discussing whether the FX30 is still worth it in 2024 and if you should invest in one. As you may know, the FX30 was released sometime in September 2022, and that means we're approaching around 2 years since the release date. In these 2 years, quite a few cameras have been released, not just by Sony, but Canon, Fujifilm, and alike. So in this market, it makes it a little difficult to find the best option that works for you. But after extensive research, I decided to go with the Sony FX30, and I'll tell you exactly why. Number one, first and foremost, the FX30 is part of Sony's cinema line of camera, so the quality of this is out of the world with 14 plus stops of dynamic range. Secondly, this camera is Netflix approved, so it gives me the confidence that I can surely extract the best quality possible. Thirdly, this camera is like the baby version of FX3 with shooting capabilities of 4K oversampled from a 6K sensor, with up to 120 frames per second. Although this is not that useful for us in a podcast recording scenario, but it's nice to know that it's there. Fourth point is that the sensor is a 26 megapixel APS-C crop sensor, so capturing high quality images is also a capability, but only in intelligent mode and not in manual mode. Fifth, you can shoot with 422 10-bit, which is also giving you the freedom of being able to color grade because of how much color depth you have available to you. Sixth on the list is another great feature worth noting. It's the 5-axis in-body image stabilization. Although this one is again not a feature that's super useful in a podcast setup since we're recording on tripods, but still useful to have in run and gun situations. The seventh point, and one of the most important features of this camera that's made me consider it over any other Sony camera, is the fact that it has a built-in fan. This feature is a must for recording long podcasts because you definitely don't want to face a sudden interruption because your camera has heated up. Although the FX3 also has a built-in fan, but this one was the more economical option. Last but not least is the price point for me. I paid just 6,600 dirhams or $1,797 for the body to get such a high quality packed into the camera. And of course, in turn, the lenses are also much more economical in comparison to the full frame lenses. And as a bonus, the camera body has a bunch of 1/4-inch holes for you to attach a bunch of different accessories to. Now, although it may seem like the perfect camera to have, but nothing is perfect. So I'll also mention some of the negatives this camera has. The first thing is the fact that it is an APS-C camera. What this means is that the sensor inside the camera is a crop sensor. So whatever you're recording gets automatically cropped by 1.6 times, and that's a big deal in terms of choosing lenses as well as being able to record in tight spaces. Because imagine recording with a 10 to 18 millimeter lens but not being able to actually extract a 10 millimeter scene because this 10 millimeter gets multiplied by 1.6. So you're technically shooting at 16 millimeter to 28.8 millimeter. So you're still not able to go as wide as the 10 millimeter you'd like. The second thing that also relates to the APS-C sensor is the low light capabilities. Although the FX30 is great at low light capabilities, but still not as good as full frame cameras, since the size of the sensor is smaller than full frame. Third thing that I don't understand and really dislike is the fact that there's no battery charger in the box. Like, who even does that? Seems like someone's been following in the footsteps of Apple. So this is something you gotta keep in mind, because when I first bought my Sony ZV-E1 and opened the box, I was shocked. I was like, where the hell is the charger? Then I googled it and found out that they don't even come with battery chargers, and the same applies to the FX30. So make sure you're prepared for that. So who is this camera for, and is it still worth it in 2024? In my opinion, this camera is for the serious content creator who's looking to elevate their content. Most importantly, the advantages heavily outweigh the disadvantages. The cons are something I can live with and are not deal breakers for me. I think it is definitely still the go-to camera to get if you're looking for a camera that has great quality, economical relatively, and does not overheat because of the built-in fan. With that being said, let me know your thoughts about the Sony FX30. Would you still buy it in 2024? And if not, what other camera do you have your eyes on? Make sure to smash the like button, subscribe for more videos just like this one, and see you guys in the next one.